Well, hi everyone, and welcome back to Foreign Currencies with Scott. So it's Sunday, February 22nd. So we're making our way through the second month of the calendar year. And if you watched our video midweek this week, you know that we're now over 30% since our challenge started on July 1. So in about 7.5 months, we're up 30%. So we could not be more delighted. Now, the last 2 days of the trading week this past week, neither day gave us a position to trade in. So normally we focus on the trades that we make, how we got in, when, where the movement was, and when we got out, and we just kind of ignore the trades that were not there. So this week, what we're going to do is we're going to show you the charts for Thursday and Friday, show you the movement that the pair made in those 2 days, and how it kind of reflects our model for the world about what happens. And again, that's that the pair drifts away from the New York close, and then with the London Open goes back and touches that New York close before it moves on with life. So we're going to look at that for Thursday and Friday, see how that went, but also see how it didn't give us the perfect setup for our trade opportunity. So we made no trades on Thursday and Friday. So the good news of that is we remain over 30% up since the challenge started on July 1. So it's Sunday evening now. I hope you'll get your positions set up to see how the Monday Open of London goes. And we'll talk to you again midweek and see how the first 3 days of the trading week went. Until then, good trading, everyone. All right, we're going to take a look at Thursday, February 19th. This was another no trade day, but just thought it was important to take a look at what the pair behavior was, even though there was not a trade, but also why there was not a trade for us to enter. So looking at the screen here, you can see that the vertical bar on the left-hand side represents the New York close on February 18th. And you can see that crossing in the middle there where it crosses the movement of the candlesticks. You can see that that was 134.94.7. So our 30 pips away would be up above the 24.7, and 30 pips below would be down lower at 64.7. So the line between 64.7 and 94.7 is the current price. Even though the market is closed, that current price is still reflected, so we just ignore that line for the moment. We're only looking at the middle line, the very top line, and the very bottom horizontal line for our analysis of Thursday, February 19th. So as the market closed on Wednesday evening, we can see the price action went up and then back down to New York close and then danced around it for a while. At midnight, it had moved lower. You can see it's near the current price now, but not even, or perhaps almost halfway to 30 pips below. Turned around, went back up to the New York close. And then at 3 a.m., it was above the New York close, but as we can see here, now this is 305, but as we can see here, it did not get 30 pips above, so we had no trade to speak of to make there because we need it to be at least 30 pips away for it to be worth the risk for us. So given our criteria, that is not a trade. But as you can see, what happened to the price action is even though it was half or a little bit more than half towards the 30 pips away in the up direction, it did turn around and close, excuse me, and touch the New York close once again. So it did it twice overnight. We can see here it did it once just after midnight, and between 1 and 2 a.m. it went back, and then it went in the other direction between 3 and 4, and then by even 4:30, but certainly by 5:30, it had revisited the New York close. So no trade for us again on Thursday, February 19th. Okay, so we're going to take a look at Friday, February 20th, which was a no trade possibility day. Now, what we have up in front of us here is the chart from Thursday evening, the close of the New York market. So you can see that vertical line there and our three horizontal lines. Now, what you need to ignore is the lighter color horizontal line in between the top two lines. That's the current price. Even though the market is closed for the weekend, the current level is still showing there. So it's the middle horizontal line at 134 and 65 and a half pips, and then the two marked lines up at the top and at the bottom are the 30 pips away from the New York close uh, back on Friday. So let's take a look at what happened. So the market opened at that vertical line there in the foreign markets and danced around the New York close a bit and then headed down so that by 2100 or 9 p.m., you can see that the market did touch 30 pips below and in fact broke below it a little bit, but then came right back up. And although it flirted with that line a bit, you can see that before 3 a.m., it did get back up to the New York close. So we haven't even gotten to the London Open yet, and we've already gotten more than 30 pips away and all the way back to the New York close. So that the essence of our method has already been met. So let's see what happens after that. Well, what we can see what happens after that is that, again, before London opens, you can see a very sharp move just before 3 a.m. when London opens, down again to 30 pips away. And we will see that if we close up on that, we'll see that it did not quite make it. So that at 3 a.m., we were still within the boundary there, if you will, and we're not 30 pips away. So we did not have an entry point. We certainly didn't at the 5 minute period of 3 and then 3:05. And you can see here at 3:10, the market did try to go back towards the New York close. So that would have been good. But again, we did not get below 30 pips away from the New York close. So we had no trade here. But once again, it did get close to that level and then go right back up and reach the New York close once again. So the theory of our method, it actually happened twice overnight, getting 30 pips away, going back to the New York close, then getting almost 30 pips away, and again going back to the New York close. But no trade for us because we have very specific set of conditions and those conditions weren't met, but the pair does behave exactly as we predict it will behave, which is it goes away and then comes back and touches New York close before it goes on for the rest of the day. So no trade on Friday, February 20th.